Iran says the United States must make the first move towards de-escalation by honoring the commitments it made under the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. That was Tehran's message to Pakistan, as Islamabad made a fresh attempt to revive diplomacy and begin an end to the US-Iran conflict. Pakistan's Chief of Defense Forces and Army Chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir, held a series of high-level meetings during a one-day visit to Tehran. He met Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, Parliamentary Speaker and Chief Negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, and the country's top national security official, General Mohsen Rezai. Interior Minister Mohsen Naqvi accompanied him and also took part in meetings with Iran's interior and foreign ministers. At the center of the talks was the Islamabad MOU, an agreement brokered by Pakistan in June to halt the fighting and create a path towards a negotiated settlement. Iran told the Pakistani delegation that it remains committed to the agreement, but says Washington must first fulfill its side of the deal. Ghalibaf said the responsibility now rested with the United States. Rezai delivered a similar message, saying Tehran did not trust Washington and that the US would have to change its behavior. The 60-day armistice established under the agreement has now expired, and the two sides have returned to hostilities. Pakistan, however, still views the MOU as the most practical framework for restarting talks. According to Pakistan's military, the discussions in Tehran focused on three immediate priorities: preventing further escalation, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and ending the conflict as quickly as possible. The strait remains at the heart of the deadlock. It is one of the world's most important energy routes, carrying a significant share of global oil and gas supplies before the war disrupted shipping. Iran says the waterway will not fully reopen until Washington meets its commitments, including easing military and economic pressure on Tehran. Rezai stressed that any settlement would have to address Iran's security interests in the strait. His position carries significant weight because he recently became Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, placing him at the center of Tehran's decision-making. Munir's visit also came just days after he spoke by telephone with US President Donald Trump. The details of that conversation have not been disclosed, but the call gave Pakistan a direct channel to Washington before Munir traveled to Tehran, allowing Islamabad to communicate with both sides. The timing of the visit was also important. Shortly after the Pakistani delegation arrived, Washington announced a new economic pressure campaign targeting Iran's revenue, including its oil exports.
Today, at President Trump's direction, the United States Treasury has begun Operation Economic Outcast, an unprecedented campaign against the Islamic Republic of Iran and its enablers. In the Second World War, D-Day marked the historic beginning of a campaign with our allies to target and drive the enemy from its positions, including those in third countries. Today, in that same spirit, we are launching an economic onslaught against Iran's financial connections around the globe. Our objective is to sever every economic lifeline that sustains this tyrannical regime until Tehran stands alone. Iran's fanatics devote themselves to death to America and seek nuclear weapons to do just that. They have murdered and maimed more of our citizens and service members than any other terrorist regime on earth. And they have been at war against America, their neighbors in the Gulf, and much of the world for 47 years. President Trump has taken action that his predecessors have long deferred. And under his leadership, America is no longer managing the Iranian threat. We are ending it.
Iran says further sanctions will deepen the confrontation rather than bring it back to negotiations. Ghalibaf accused Washington of undermining regional stability and further damaging trust. A separate diplomatic effort is also underway. Iran and Oman are discussing arrangements for navigating through the Strait of Hormuz, and Oman's foreign minister is due in Tehran on Tuesday. Pakistan is now trying to connect these diplomatic tracks and revive a peace process that has stalled. For the moment, Iran's position is clear. Tehran says it is prepared to return to the Islamabad agreement, but only after the United States begins implementing the commitments it made. Read the full Dawn report through the link in the description.